Hey folks, how we doing? It's Mr. Carter here, ready to do math lesson 5.1, which is fraction decomposition. Here's our target. I understand how to explore decomposing fractions into sums of fractions with the same denominator. So what is decomposing? That's kind of like breaking apart fractions. We're going to get into that as the lesson goes. Here is our math message. The red circle is the whole. Use yellow fraction pieces to show 3/4. What equation can you write to show 3/4 as a sum of the yellow fraction pieces? Now, you may or may not have fraction pieces in front of you. If you do, great, and you can use them. If not, that's okay too. I have them here on a video, so you can just watch. All right, so here's the math message again. So here's our red circle, and it's our whole. If I use yellow fraction pieces to show 3/4, it would look like this. Okay, so I have one yellow piece, two yellow pieces, three yellow pieces, and that shows 3/4, right? Because each of them is a fourth. Now it's asking you, what equation can you write to show 3/4 as a sum of yellow pieces? So here we go. Well, I could say that's 1/4. So we got 1/4. Here's another fourth. So I say add another fourth. So 1/4 plus 1/4. And then there's our third fourth, so we're just adding another fourth. So again, it would look like this: 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. All right, here's our math message continued. So here's some more questions. So the first question I have for you: how many yellows did you use to show 3/4? Well, that's 1, 2, 3 yellows. So it's 3 yellows to show 3/4. Again, what fraction of the whole is one yellow? Well, that's 1/4. Next question. How many fourths did you use? Well, again, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So we used 3/4. What equation did you write? Well, we went over that. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals. Now, another way to look at it is like this. You could take all your ones, put them in the numerator. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 over 4. And that's another way to look at 3/4. All right, so let's look at that equation a little bit deeper. So again, we have that. So now fractions, here's some vocab for you. Fractions with a numerator of 1 are called unit fractions. So for example, 1/4 over here, that is a unit fraction because it has a 1 in the numerator. Okay, so any fraction with a 1 on top is a unit fraction. Okay, so again, now any fraction that is A or B, so this is like any fraction, can be written as a sum of unit fractions. Well, what does that mean, sum of unit fractions? Okay, well, let's talk about that a little bit more. Here are some examples. Well, I have the fraction here 2/10. Well, that can be decomposed or split up into 1/10 and 1/10. And those are unit fractions. Okay, so again, any fraction can be turned into the sum of unit fractions. So here's the sum of unit fractions. We got 1/10 plus 1/10, and it equals 2/10. Here's another example. So here are some more unit fractions, because again, a unit fraction has that 1 on top. So it's 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. Well, that equals a total of 5/8. So again, any fraction can be the sum of unit fractions. Here's another example. Yeah, so again, here we have some unit fractions. 1/6, again, because it has that 1 on top, it's called a unit fraction. Well, I can add 1/6 6 times, and I get 6/6. So 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, right? To get a total of 6/6. Here's another example. Again, another unit fraction is 1/3 because it has the 1 on top. Well, 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 is 4/3. Okay, I think you get it. All right, so here we go. Here we have a red circle as our whole. Now we have dark greens here. So I'm asking you, how many dark greens does it take to show 4/5? Well, here we go. 1 dark green, 2 dark greens, 3 dark greens, 4 dark greens show 4/5. What fraction of the whole is one dark green? So just one of these. What fraction of the whole red circle is that one dark green? Well, it's 1/5, right? Because this is if the whole was here, I'd have 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, there would be another dark green here to make 5 total, right? So 1 out of 5 is 1/5. All right. Now, what equation can you write to show 4/5 as a sum of unit fractions? So again, a sum of unit fractions. Fractions has to have a 1 on top. Well, here it is. 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 is 4/5. Again, it's a unit fraction because it's got the 1 on top. Right, let's take a look at that fraction 4/5 again. Can we decompose or break apart this fraction a different way? So we have 4/5. Well, can we do that? Can we take apart this 4/5 a different way? Yeah, of course we can. Let's take a look at this way. So I can go 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 2/5. And guess what? If I put these all together, they would add up to 4/5. So yeah, you can decompose fractions in many, many different ways. All right, are there other ways to decompose 4/5? Yeah, yes, there is. So you can go 2/5 plus 2/5 is 4/5, or you can even go 3/5 plus 1/5 is 4/5. Ah, now I understand. All right, well, bam, here, we're going to kick it up a notch. Let's decompose a mixed number. So a mixed number, again, is when you have a whole number and a fraction. So here we have 1 whole and 2/8 for 1 and 2/8. That's our mixed number. It would look like this. We have 1 whole red and then 2/8 of another whole here. So we can decompose this mixed number by going 1 plus 2/8 for a total of 1 and 2/8. So again, we're just breaking apart these fractions and adding them up together. All right, well, let's take a look at this again. So here we have our mixed number. We have 1 and 2/8. But what I did is I took this whole and I now converted it into 8/8. So I have 8 whole pieces. So would you agree that 8/8 plus 2/8 is the same as saying 1 and 2/8? Well, yeah, of course it does. So now that you know this, can you come up with other ways to decompose 1 and 2/8? Well, let's take a look. Well, we just did this one here. So 8/8 plus 2/8 is 1 and 2/8. Here's another way. I can go 1 whole plus 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 1 and 2/8. Whoa, pretty cool. Here's another way. 5/8 plus 5/8 equals 1 and 2/8. Wait a minute. How does that make sense? Well, if we go back up here and take a look, 8/8 plus 2/8. If we count all these eighths, that would be 10/8. So yeah, so 5/8 and 5/8, that equals 10/8, which is the same as saying 1 and 2/8. And here's another way. Yeah, so since we know that again up here, that we have total of 10/8, we've got 8/8 plus 2/8. Well, again, if you did 2/8 plus 2/8 plus 2/8 plus 2/8 plus 2/8, that would equal 10/8, which again is the same as saying 1 and 2/8. So the point is, boys and girls, is that there's so many ways to decompose fractions. All right, I got a word problem here for you. So we have 6 friends, and they ordered 2 large submarine sandwiches. Whoa, those look yummy. 2 whole sandwiches. All right, now the whole is one of these subs, right? Each sub was divided into 6 equal pieces. Here we go. So I'm going to cut these subs into 6 equal slices. Yum. All right. So now, if you count, look, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, right? What fraction names the total number of sixths the sub were divided into? Okay, well, let's count them up. Well, this part is 1/6 of a sub, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, because don't forget, our one sandwich is the whole, right? That's why it's 1/6 of the whole. Well, we have another sixth here, another sixth, another sixth, another sixth, another sixth, another sixth. So again, the total number of sixths that the subs were divided into is 12 sixths. All right, but wait, there's more. All right, here's our subs again. And I'll read the problem. Now, both subs were eaten entirely. All of the 6 friends ate some. Now, only 3 friends had the same amount. The other 3 friends had different amounts of the sub. Write an equation to show how the 6 friends shared the subs. So again, 3 friends had the same amount and the other 3 had different amounts. All right, so pause the video, see if you can figure that out, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, welcome back. So here is our answer. So the 3 friends that ate the same amount all had 1/6 of the pizza. Pizza, not a pizza, sub. Sorry. So these 3 friends ate the same amount. They had each 1/6 of the sub. Now, this friend had 3/6 of the sub, so like half a sub really. And then these 2 friends, this one had 2/6, and this friend had 4/6 of the sub. So that is just one way to decompose, to take a look at the problem, but that's a solution there. All right, so now what I need you to do is go to page 155 in your math journal, and we're going to go over a couple of the problems together. So if you don't have your math journal, just pause the video and take that math journal out. Okay, let's go over questions 1 and 2. It's asking you, write an equation to show each fraction as a sum of the unit fractions. So I'm going to underline here sum of unit fractions. We did that at the beginning of the lesson. And again, remember, unit fractions have a 1 in the numerator, sorry. The number on top is 1. So this is the answer to number 1. So you have 5/12. And again, the sum of unit fractions, again, that keyword unit fractions, you have 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 equals 5/12. All right, go ahead and work on number 2. Pause the video, and then I'll give you the answer in a second. All right, so again, you got to split this up using sum of unit fractions. So pause that and figure it out. Okay, welcome back. So you had to take 4/100ths and go 1/100th, 1/100th plus 1/100th plus 1/100th plus 1/100th for a total of 4 out of 100. All right, for question 3, I find it easier to get 3 or different colored pencils to show how you decomposed it. So if you take a minute, grab some colored pencils, and because you're going to be shading your different fractions different colors, and I'll explain to you what I mean here in a second. All right, so it's asking you now to decompose 7/10ths into sum of fractions with the same denominator. Now, they don't have to be unit fractions. They can be, but you don't have to have them as unit fractions. So you need to decompose 7/10ths in 3 different ways. Record each decomposition with an equation and justify each one by shading the parts of the circle. So here we go. Here's an example. So you have 7/10ths total, but what they chose to do is decompose 7/10ths. They go 5/10ths plus 2/10ths equals a total of 7/10ths. Well, this is where I'm talking about where you're shaded a different color. So you did 5/10ths in this darker shade of blue, and these 2/10ths in a different shade. So again, you could use different colors. Like you could have did red for the 5/10ths and purple for the other ones. Doesn't matter. Okay. So here's an example of 7/10ths decomposed in a different way. Let's take a look at this. So you have 2/10ths plus 2/10ths plus 2/10ths plus 1/10 equals 7/10, because if you add all your numerators, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, you get 7 tenths. Well, this is what that would look like on your circle. So again, using different shades of colors helps us know what you're talking about. So 2 tenths plus 2 tenths plus 2 tenths plus 1 tenth. Again, it's shown with different shades of pink here. But again, you could just use different colors, whatever colors you want. All right, now work on the last two by yourself. See how you do with decomposing 7 tenths in a couple different ways in your math journal. All right, friends, that's it for today. If you have any questions, go see your teacher, and hope this was helpful, and take care.